George, we talked about how you were an assistant to Bob Knight in the 1984 Olympic Games. During those games, Charles Barkley tried out for the team and had done extremely well. Why don't you give us a story about how well he did and why he didn't make the team?
Question, how well did he do? He did so well that he was a leading scorer, leading rebounder, and leading assist guy in the trials and that.
Why didn't he make the team?
Well, I think that Coach Knight, I know he put a strong emphasis on team composition, that he had a vision of what type of team he thought, one, that he could coach, and two, that could deliver the gold medal. And so I think at the time, based on the practices, it became evident that there were some things that Coach Knight put a high premium on that Charles didn't. And I can remember one time someone coming to Coach Knight and saying, hey, Coach, we're having a hard time getting Charles down the defensive stands and so forth. We were a little bit more structured in some of the things we did. So in the trials, Charles would get a rebound, and instead of outletting it to the guard, Charles would take it the length of the court and dunk it and stuff, you know. and so these were all things that obviously didn't fit into the concept of how Bob wanted to structure the team and that. And so there came a point where we had to obviously start to reduce the numbers of the players that were at the trials, and we're just about down to around 16 or 14 players. And so now the question becomes, who are we going to let go? And so we had a staff meeting, and there was a rather lengthy and discussion about Charles and whether we were going to keep him in that. And so it was decided at the end that we would, despite what Charles's stats were, we weren't going to keep him. And so the decision was made. We finished the staff meeting and getting ready to get up to leave. And Coach Knight says, "Hey, George, you stay here for a minute." So I stay, and so then Bob tells me, "Hey, you go over and tell Charles that he's cut." And so I had to go over and meet with Charles. But I actually tell you the truth, Charles handled it pretty good. You know, he said, "All right, Coach, you know I should have made this team. Ain't no way I shouldn't have made the team." But that's all right. He said, "I just wanted to show the pro scouts that, you know, what I could do and that I'm ready for the NBA and that." Whenever I see Charles to this day, I still tease him. You know, I'll say to someone, "Hey, let me ask you." I'll say, "I got $5 for anybody who can answer this question." And Charles is standing there. Who was the only guy in the history of the Olympic trials to lead the trials in scoring and rebounding, assists, and not making? Charles would say, "Oh, after you, Coach, you know I should have made that team. You know I should have made that team."
Well, I was at Tennessee when Charles was at Auburn, and I had heard Charles even said that he was kind of relieved because he wasn't going to put up with Knight, and he knew Knight wasn't going to put up with him.
Well, you know, you had two different people who saw through the lens of basketball different ways to achieve success, and they were just at polar position. It doesn't mean one was right and the other was wrong. It just, they had as a nun used to say when I was in high school, there are many roads that lead to Rome, and there are many roads that lead to success. And Charles had to travel one road, and Bob had traveled another. But they both ultimately are Hall of Famers.
Charles went to Barcelona. His road went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Worked out for him.